I just got to check my mic now. Monday. Man, that seems like a year ago. Hello. I was like watching. I'm like, I can see over there if she's still here or not. Welcome, Gabby. Thanks for hanging out. I invited Gabby on one to make sure that she could get on here. If I didn't send her a link, which she could, so she could. I have a different camera and I have a different light, and I've been trying to mess with it and just don't know. So who knows what I'll look like next time? I have no idea. Be a surprise. All right, welcome everyone. Hello, Laura in Michigan. I hope the weather up there in Minnesota, Wisconsin, I guess it would really have to cross kind of weird, but I hope it doesn't come your way, Laura. I was watching this video of these people in Minnesota are taking video of like funnel clouds and tornadoes, and then it goes to somebody taking video like downtown. I don't know if it's St. Paul or if it's down, because it's how it's Minneapolis, St. Paul, and I don't know where the dividing line is. No, it's whatever. But there's people just standing on the street, and you can hear the tornado sirens going off, and they're just like standing there, like, "Where's the bus?" I was like, "Yeah, out here we will probably stand there for a little bit, but we do know to get out of the way." Like, it was so funny. Like, do you guys know what's happening? Probably not.
Hey there.
Hey there. How you doing? The severe weather is headed your way. Well, hopefully it doesn't get bad. We are in the red for tomorrow, so yay! Can't wait. I will be home with Madison, Mad Dog, whatever.
Oh, you know who I saw today?
What?
I saw George. He wanted me to say hi to everybody.
Hello, George. I was thinking about him. I think it was yesterday. It's like, I need to message him.
He was over in Wolf.
Howdy ho, Ranger Joe. Back to you, Scooby-Doo. That's all I can come up with. That's all I got.
Oh, boy.
Oh. My goodness. I'm like, this day's been kind of different because we took my dad out for dinner for his birthday last night, and he told me, he said, "Hey, I got a message from the power company, and they said the power's going to be off between like 10 and 2 tomorrow, so like you don't have to come over because what are we going to do?" I was like, "It's up to you, whatever." So he said, "Don't come over." I was like, "Fine." So that gave me time to kind of mess with this stuff here, and he called me at 11:30 this morning, and he said, "I should read things more carefully. They meant 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
That's funny.
He goes, "Let's just blame it on my age." And I was like, "Nope, because we all do that." I said, "Dad," I was like thinking, "You have no idea the things I've said and read this week." I thought somebody did a deep dive on Garmin. Poor Robin. She's like, "What are you talking about?" Hello, Christine. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope your weather's good. The only reason you're home now is because you have to work again tomorrow. Yay! Extra money.
That's what I was going to say. Mo money. Well, you know what they say. Mo money.
Mo money, mo problems.
How do you know that, AJ? Wow, I'm impressed. North Side?
North Side, that's right.
Oh, boy.
That is right. So we have the Marshella Chidester, whatever, sentencing today from Michigan. I was going to say Wisconsin. It is Michigan, Monroe County, I think. So we watched her trial, she's the woman who is accused of driving under the influence of a lot of wine and crashing through the Swan Boat Club and unaliving an 8-year-old little girl and a little boy who was getting ready to turn 5, along with injuring several others, a lot of adults and children. It was a children's 3rd birthday party that they were there for. And so it was a hard trial to watch, mostly because the defense attorney was driving us all crazy with his questions.
Yeah, some of
questions.
them were so useless.
Oh my gosh. And her whole thing, I thought about it later because it drove me crazy that she said she was still claiming the whole, I had, like when we watched that interview, that she had a seizure and she just went stiff. I'm like, okay, I would give you that if all you did was you backed out of your driveway and then that's what caused you to go into reverse and hit the truck and the neighbor's truck, and then you stopped. I would say, okay, maybe you did. Maybe you had a seizure. You went, your foot went down. You went stiff, whatever. But the thing that you had to do different was put it from reverse to drive. So that tells me you had a little range of motion.
Well, not just that either. Like, if she did have a seizure while she was driving, she would have. I mean, she would have crashed a long time ago. Like those videos of her driving by those people's houses like that. There's no way.
You would think.
You know.
I mean, now videos of her house of her drinking wine all morning, pretty much, did her in. Her BAC that was taken with blood that was taken 3.5 hours after the accident didn't help her. Carmen, she is very sensitive on that topic and has every reason to be, because she's had to deal with that. And for that woman to say that, oh, I just had a seizure and I was just hospitalized and they don't know what's wrong, but yet they're still letting me drive. No. No. That's not what happens. So she fired her defense attorney, didn't tell him. Apparently, he went to the jail to do her pre-sentence investigation and was told he could not speak to her. So there was nobody waiting for him to talk to him. And so that's how he found out he was no longer her attorney. But he had not gotten anything of that. He wasn't her attorney. He had not gotten anything that said who the attorney was. So he actually asked to be released from being her lawyer himself. So her new lawyer, we will see him today. He said and I kind of agree with him on this, that it was highly unusual for a defendant to at least not keep their original lawyer through sentencing, and then once they go to appeal, get a different attorney. Right. And I do agree with that. What I don't agree with is he thinks that she's got a great chance on appeal. I'm like, wow. I don't know. They didn't ask, and probably because they were thinking the same thing. They didn't care to know his answer.
She has a twin sister.
Yeah.
I mean, hidden somewhere. Yes. Like, what the heck is going on with this now?
I don't know, because, there's people with less evidence against them that can't get out.
Yeah.
So your whole crime's caught on camera, lady. And it's not a crime to drink in your house. That's fine. Your crime was getting in your car.
Which also that whole time watching that, all I heard was the clown song. You know what I mean? The little clown car song.
Yes.
Hey, little one. Again.
How you doing?
Yes, allegedly.
Allegedly, even though we see it.
Yeah.
It's right there.
I mean, maybe I wasn't wearing my glasses. I mean, I don't know.
This starts it doesn't start at the beginning. I don't know why they missed about 20 minutes of this hearing, and I tried to find it, and there is just isn't. There's a lot of chopped up pieces out there, so we're just going to stick with this one. And so it's going to start with her, with the Alanah, I think was the little girl's name, and Zayn was the little boy's name. Their dad he's already speaking. So it's going to start with him, and it's going to go to the mother. And that's all I had a chance to kind of check out. So I know that Marshella does speak, but I don't think it's for very long. So, like I said, the whole thing is about 47 minutes. So it's not that long. They're at the table, so they should be like right in front of the microphones. I turned it up kind of like I have the Broderick trial. So let me know if it's like blowing eardrums out or what happened. And little one, this is the sentencing of Marshella Chidester. She's the woman that in Michigan that ran her car through the boat club, hitting and unaliving 2 little kids. Nobody's here today. We'll get back to that next week. But we watched this trial, so this will be the last of it. This woman's not going to go anywhere on appeal. I'm sorry. If she does, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer or a judge. But
no way.
My money's on no.
Yeah, my money's on heck no.
So my dad says, I don't really know, but hell no. Like, okay, you're serious. Okay, so new attorney. He looks smarter than the other attorney, not to be mean.
Yeah, I mean, he does have the furrowed brow lawyer look on his face, so that's pretty good.
He looks smarter. I don't know if there was any opening statements. Like I said, this is just picks up for some weird reason. There's a lot of people in the courtroom.
Wait, who's streaming? Is it a local?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe that's why.
So, but they knew, like, they had a story on it that it was coming. So I'm like, you guys had the whole trial. What you drop the ball on this one for? So, all right. So, like I said, this is going to pick him up. He's already speaking. So here we go. Let me know how the sound is, please.
I told him it would be very, very hard on him. He would rip wires out. He didn't. The whole 2 weeks, I would cry in the shower. I would cry away from him so he wouldn't know. I didn't want him to know what happened. After he got out the hospital, we sat down with his mom and finally told him. He flipped out so bad. He cried so bad. We all 3 cried so bad.
Okay, so
what you took from me, I would never.
They are talking about the one kid that survived. Jaden, I think is his name. He's talking about, I believe, telling him after he got out of the hospital, because he was the one that had to be flown by Lifeline or whatever the helicopter is called up there to take him to the hospital somewhere else because he broke his femur. So 2 out of her 3 kids passed away, little one. Sounds good? All right, thanks, Gabby. All right. Here we go.
Ever get back. My daughter was trying to be just like me playing basketball. She just celebrated her 8th birthday. Zayn was about to be 5. Instead of celebrating his 5th birthday, we buried them. You don't have no kids, so you don't know what this feels like. I go to their grave every other day to every day sometimes because it's so close to my home. The only time I feel close to them is being at their gravesite because I don't feel them anywhere else. I thank you, Judge, from the bottom of my heart for letting me tell my statement. And I promise I don't wish nothing but the worst for you. And I hope that you feel what we feel every day, because it's hard. It's hard even to wake up knowing that they're not here. It's hard that their older brother has to be without his brother and sister. And I hope every day that you realize what you took it from us. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. I'm going to have you identify yourself, please.
Mariah Dodds.
Ms. Dodds, when you're ready.
My name is Mariah Dodds. I'm the mother of Alanah, Zayn, and Jaden Phillips. I stand before this court with a heart that is shattered beyond words, and with pain so deep words cannot fully express its weight. I lost my children. The loss of my children has created a void in my life that I will never be able to fill, and the grief I carry is something I will live with for the rest of my life. My children were my everything and kept me going every day. They were my joy, my hope, and my reason to live. Each day spent with them was a gift I cherished, and I took pride in being their mother. Every milestone they achieved, every smile they gave was a reminder of how incredibly blessed I was to have them. They brought so much love, laughter, and light into my life. Alanah was 8 years old, and she was in the 2nd grade. She was smart, creative, artistic, independent, fearless, and had such a good heart. She loved to dance and read books. She loved singing, playing with dolls, playing restaurant, drawing, collecting rocks, and being a leader. She liked to create recipes, do her nails, practice makeup, organize things, do gymnastic moves, and still played rough with her brothers. She had a sassy side to her and wouldn't let anybody mess with her. She knew how to stand up for herself. She had a huge heart and had a nurturing personality. She looked up to me so much. She had every piece of me in her, from her beautiful heart, artistic soul, and her spunky personality. She was everything I have ever wanted and pictured. With having a little girl, she will always be remembered for her dark brown ringlet curly hair, beautiful different color eyes, freckle nose, and having a sassy, sweet, and funny personality. Zayn was 4 years old and attended preschool. He was full of energy and loved to make everyone laugh. He loved to bounce around and dance. He enjoyed being full of people laugh. He liked superheroes and collected squishy like sensory figurines called bujitsus. He loves going to the parks and being outside like any other kid. He was super close to both of his siblings and looked up to his older brother Jaden more than anything. He loved playing games and was just starting to learn to read books. He was a tough little boy with the most sensitive, loving heart. I have never had a human being love me so much as he did. He was my little shadow. At home, he spent most of his time by my side or playing with his siblings. He slept next to me every single night. We always had a routine when it was just me and him. He was so sweet and innocent. The love and bond I had him was indescribable. He was my baby out of all that he was still developing. He will always be remembered as the bright blue-eyed, red-haired, full of energy, silly, most loving little boy. April 20th, 2024 changed my life forever. When I was told my children were no longer here, I felt like I felt like I stopped breathing, as if I died inside. All I could remember was screaming, freaking out, and trying to jump out of the hospital bed. The medical professionals had to keep putting me back to sleep because every time I woke up, my body would go into panic. My mind could not understand what was happening, and my body just reacted. Staying awake was too much for me to handle. Everyone knew my kids were gone before me, and I had to let that sink in. I suffered a traumatic brain injury, so trying to remember every detail of what happened during the time, it was so hard to think and process stuff. Everything happened so fast, and I was so confused once I regained consciousness. Having to leave the hospital out of the back door instead of the front did not make sense to me. News stations knocking on my front door before I could even make it home from the hospital was not the kind of spotlight I wanted, considering I was trying to process my kids were really gone. The first time I stepped into my home when I got out of the hospital was just as traumatic for me. Going home without my kids was not normal for me. I had to see everything that was left inside my home when we last left it all together. Having to see their little shoes and coats at the front door with toys laying around my living room made everything feel more realistic. I could not look at anything. I cried to my family to get it all out of my sight because every time I seen something of theirs, I felt like I was going to stop breathing. It was impossible to get everything out of my sight for the moment because my whole home is a memory of them. I am used to my home being noisy and full of laughter. Now it's quiet. It's extremely hard to be in my home now. There are many good memories, but it hurts more than anything living in something that once was full and perfect to nothing but emptiness and false hope to still wait to see them running around. I am the type of person that would not let just anyone come to my home because that is our safe place. After this accident, there were so many people in and out of my home that it was overwhelming. I encountered so many phone calls, so much paperwork, and consistent appointments when all I wanted to do was just close my eyes and pray every time I opened them that it was just a nightmare. I was overwhelmed, overstimulated, in a bad state of mind while trying to process the death of my kids and physically heal with the injuries I had. The panic attacks I had to face felt like my heart was going to stop. Even one point EMS had to come because I thought I was going to die. I felt helpless. I could not move around without support. I could not get out of bed and go to the bathroom without help. I could not bathe myself. With most of my ribs broken on one side, my shoulder blade broken on the other, a golf ball-sized hematoma right on my pubic region, and the back of my neck and skull bruised, I couldn't sit comfortably in a car or sit straight up in a chair without it hurting to breathe. No matter if I laid down, sat up, or tried to walk, everything just hurt so badly. I am so used to taking care of little ones, not having anyone take care of me ever. I felt vulnerable and like a burden on the ones that had to step away from their own life to take care of me and Jaden. I had to break the unwelcome news to Jaden, bury my children, figure out how to even celebrate Jaden's birthday to make it positive for him, mourn Zayn's birthday the day after, and face Mother's Day all in the same week. Holidays and events are not the same. My kids were the party and entertainment at every family function or holiday. Everyone's birthdays were gloomy and quiet this year. Halloween was different. Thanksgiving felt like another day. Christmas was sad. It was heartbreaking and just did not feel right. Easter this year was the 1-year death date from this tragedy, and I was not even able to celebrate Easter. Instead, I faced another heartache by going into Alanah's room that I have not seen in a year. Her room still smells like her. Her little dollhouse was still set up the same way when she was playing with it last. We were working on her room together, organizing all her toys, redoing the floors, and so on. She was so excited, and I never got to finish it with her. Going out in public is something I must force myself to do to face my fear. Thought of something happening is always on my mind. The fear of getting into an accident panics me. every time I'm on the road. Even though I do not remember hearing the big crash noise, I tend to jump and my heart races when I hear loud noises unexpectedly. The injuries I got from this accident took away my self-esteem. My body gets aches and pains from when there's something being said about my children or about this tragedy. Seeing the things my kids will love in places aches my heart. I cannot look at parks the same. Driving past their schools hurt. Being around and seeing other children their ages makes me smile, but also at the same time, it hurts my heart. The guilt of not wanting to do anything fun in public because my kids are no longer here dwells on me. Doing a simple grocery order bums me out because I'm not buying the snacks they love. Certain songs or movies make me sad because we are not singing or watching them together. I feel guilty about whatever I do because my children are not here with me. There is meaning with everything, every day that reminds me of them. Jaden, Alanah, and Zayn had a special bond like no other. The age gap between them did not reflect anything they did together. Jaden did such an amazing job of protecting his siblings. They looked up to him so much. While Jaden was in the hospital going through surgeries, fighting for his life and recovering, he had no idea about his siblings. His father was by his side while I was also fighting for my life and recovering as well. I will never forget when me and Jaden seen each other for the first time through video chat. Seeing each other's faces was traumatizing. As a mother, it killed me not to be able to be present to comfort my child and know exactly what was going on with him because of the physical condition I was also in. Throughout all of my kids' life, I always been there whenever they were sick or needed the doctor, and I couldn't even be there for him. Me and his father could not even tell Jaden about his siblings being in heaven until Jaden came home from the hospital. That is when his condition was stable enough and he would have both of us there together to tell him. You do not know how it feels to tell your only living child that his siblings, his best friends, are gone. Jaden had to face many of challenges from this past year. He had to grow up fast and got robbed out of his childhood because of this. Jaden took on the pain a grown man would not be able to tolerate. He laid in a hospital bed in the living room for several months. He could not walk, use the bathroom on his own, or get into a shower. To get him out of the bed, he had to be power lifted to a wheelchair. He was in constant pain and uncomfortable. Finding rides that were wheelchair accessible just to get to an appointment were stressful. It killed me to watch my son in that bed every day, to see him in that condition and not be able to do anything for him due to my own broken bones. Family had to walk away from their own lives and jobs just to take care of the both of us. It took Jaden 10 and a half months to regain the strength fully of walking without a wheelchair and walker. To this day, Jaden is trying to find ways of doing the things he used to be able to. His self-esteem and confidence has been damaged because of this tragedy. He cannot attend school in person because he is still not fully capable of sitting in a chair all day like other kids. He has a big fear of falling because he does not want another surgery or to get hurt again. Jaden is autistic. He has sensory issues, so you can't imagine what this journey of healing like was for him. Anytime he felt pain was triggered or how he was doing therapy. Jaden is the strongest kid ever. No child should ever have to go through what he has. Leading up to this day, he has made a huge amount of progress, but he also still has ways to go do the things he once could do without hurting or getting tired very easily. Jaden has survivor's guilt. Getting him out of the house to do something fun is a mental process for him. Throughout this, he has shown how brave he is and how high he keeps his spirits of losing his siblings, but also he hurts for them. As I am speaking for him, this is the statement he had to say in the most appropriate way possible. Quotation, "She ruined my life. I want her to pay and spend the rest of her life in prison." End of quotation. Every day since their loss has been a struggle. My heart aches every day, and no matter what I do, the pain is constant. Every day I wake up to a world where they are no longer a part of it. I feel their absence in every corner of my life, in the quiet of the home that once rang with their voices, in the empty spaces where they should be, in every moment when I realize that I am forced to go on without them. No noise in my home freaks me out, and too much noise overstimulates me. I cannot put into words the depth of the emptiness I feel. The loss of my children has affected every aspect of my life. I have lost a part of myself I will never be able to recover. I struggle every day accepting the fact that my kids are forever gone. Simple tasks have been overwhelming. Being social is not desirable to me anymore. I am always jumping around to enjoy hobbies to keep my mind busy, but I lose interest quickly than before. I am forced to confront the reality that my children, the ones I was supposed to care for and nurture, are no longer here with me. That grief has been unbearable, and it has taken away a part of who I am. There are no absolute words of how it feels to lose your children. You just feel it. Your children are a piece of you. When they died, a part of myself died too. If I describe it the best way possible, I would say time stays still. The days repeat. It's too quiet. It doesn't get any easier. The breakdowns get worse. Missing them gets harder. Moving on makes you feel guilty. You see the world differently. You cherish what you have left in your life a little more, and you fight every day just to stay alive, to keep going. Every day is a thinking process, and nothing will ever be the same again. I must constantly keep my thoughts and actions positive. I have told many people, and I will say it again, I thank God for Jaden. He is the only piece I have left of Alanah and Zayn. If I lost him that day too, I would have been gone as quickly as my kids were gone as well. Because of Jaden and my closest loved ones, they are the reason I continue to live each and every day. Living is not a choice in my life, because I will still have to always fight and protect Jaden. And I will still always have to be Alanah and Zayn's voices while they are not here, until I take my last breath. I wish I was alert that day. I would have been able to kiss my kids one last time and tell them I love them. Zayn would have been able to hold his mommy that he kept asking for minutes before he passed away. The other part of me is glad I wasn't alert, because I do not think I would have been able to manage my children. Seeing my children like that, where my daughter smashed into a wall. There would have been 3 bodies removed that day instead of 2. Many people have told me how strong I am. Being strong is not a choice in life. I have to be. You never know what you would do unless you were in the situation yourself. Throughout this process, it seemed never ending. I felt unmotivated to do anything this whole time, because it was my biggest goal to achieve justice, to move forward to my next chapter in life. Every court date, every phone call, and every article I had to encounter was nerve-wracking, gut-twisting, and had me reliving this nightmare repeatedly. As the months go on, you are left with having to move on and learn the new normal, what the new normal life is. Eventually, you get out of a routine that you were comfortable and used to doing. You forget how to smile, and you stare off for periods of time, not realizing what you are even thinking about. You must relearn everything all over again, but in a new, different way. It is not easy being in my mindset. This was the toughest battle you cannot even imagine. I smile through the pain just to get me by every day. I surround myself around positive people, places, and things. The hardest part of all of this is missing them. I'm telling you, you're the best mom ever. They're fun personalities. Remembering the way their heartbeats felt when they were scared. Remembering the silly voices they would do and nurturing them when they were sick or hurt, or just cuddling them, because that's what made me feel alive. It hurts. I can no longer do those things. As a parent, it is natural to want to protect your children, to provide them with love, safety, and guidance. I was their protector, and I should not have to feel like I failed because of someone's poor choices. This is unbearable. And I question myself every single day, wondering if I could have done something more to keep them safe. But there were no windows or doors. Nobody's seen her come in or expected a vehicle to fly into a building. There is only one person to blame. I did my best to provide for my kids and to keep a roof over their heads with everything they needed. I always had mom guilt for working, providing, and just feeling drained. I never dreamed in a million years that the moment we had an opportunity to finally have a family fun day, my kids would never come back home with me. She took everything in my life and destroyed it. Your Honor, there is no greater loss than the loss of a child, let alone two. I will not wish this pain on anybody. The best thing I was good at in life was being their mom. My children were supposed to bury me before I buried them. They had their whole life to live. No punishment can undo what has been taken from me. But I ask that you consider the immense pain, grief, lifelong suffering, trauma, and the physical lifelong pains that I will continue to endure because of this. My life will never be the same, and I am left to navigate a world where my children are no longer with me. Justice will never bring back my children or heal the pain. But I'll be able to breathe differently, knowing the actions she has caused can never hurt anybody else. Having a clean record does not mean you're a good person. Her actions just finally caught up with her, and at the end of the day, she killed two of my kids. I'll never know the answers as to why she didn't stop the first time she ran into something before coming towards the boat club. She showed no remorse for what she has caused. I see past the alligator tears, going on TV and laughing it off like it was no big deal, like it was just a silly mistake. It was like a big slap to my face. A real woman, her wrongs, and feel some type of sort of sympathy. She has not, which makes me feel absolutely disgusted and shows what kind of moral she has. She is an evil and sick individual in my eyes. If Michigan offered the death penalty, I would highly recommend it for her. She is a danger to society, and I feel society would be a danger to her. She makes me feel like she is untouchable, and I do not like that. I have raised awareness for the dangers of drinking and driving, and I plan to keep doing so by using my own story as an example of what can happen. This tragedy is known around the world. I will keep saying my children's names, and I will keep preaching about the dangers of driving impaired. She did not only kill one of my children, she also killed two. She injured my only living child severely, as well as myself. She injured some of my family members, as well as other people that were there that day, physically, mentally, and emotionally. My wounds were poked at while I was on the stand, and it took everything in me to remain calm and professional so I wouldn't jeopardize justice through this entire process. I am exhausted mentally, emotionally, and physically with this. All I want to do is grieve the way I want and need to for my sanity and peace. I beg and I plead for her to be sentenced to life in prison with no parole. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Ms. Betts. Mr. Amberg, what would you like to say on your client's behalf?
Thank you, John. Before I get into what I wanted to talk about my sentencing memorandum, I wish I would have been here. I wish I would have been here a long time ago in this case. I, like many of our community, colleagues of ours, was first found out about this case from the media, from watching the news. And from what I saw, I was disgusted. I can't speak to why former counsel would go on the news and invite this type of scrutiny into this case when clearly people were grieving. But I thought it was disgusting. I truly do. It does not change what happened. But I can say this, since I got on this case, which was recently, the first thing I did was to get the discovery of the case and to go through this with my client. You read the letters from the victims in this case. I mean, it's ripping. It's raw. You look at the story, it is horrendous, terrible, tragic. I know we're in a business where we see things like this all the time, and this is one of the worst cases I've seen. This idea that Ms. Chidester is not remorseful is something I respectfully do not agree with, but I understand why anybody who watched the news would think that. Because the way that her lawyer portrayed her, and to have to go through this trial and all of these other things, certainly made it seem like she did not feel any remorse for this, and nothing could be further from true. I provided a list of different letters and things like that she was, because before April 20th of last year, if you were to meet Ms. Chidester, you would think she's a normal, kind person. She grew up in this area. The boat club was a place where it was very dear to her. Her father helped found it. When she was married to her husband, they had the reception in the same building where this took place. She served honorably in the Army. She worked at the power plant and served honorably there for the United States, and did charity work, very active in her church. Prior to that day, you never would have thought that she would have been here. In my memo, I talk about deterrence and things like that. I think that this case, if anything, stands for this idea that if you make poor decisions with alcohol, that you can face murder. Now, I know that, Your Honor, you, me, prosecutor, we've done a lot of different types of alcohol-related drunk driving cases in our careers. It happens all the time. And this is the end result sometimes, unfortunately, and it's terrible. It truly is. I have asked the court for mercy. I've also said I don't know what a fair sentence looks like in this case. My client's 67 years old. Obviously she's going to prison today, but even if she serves less than the guidelines in this case, it will likely be a life sentence. For those who don't know, when you are in prison, it's a hard life to begin with. And many times people on the inside do not live as long as they do on the outside. It's just a harder life. It truly is. Ms. Chidester has all sorts of health issues and things like that. And, everything from cardiovascular, neuropathy, thyroid disease. I would say that I'm pretty positive that will get worse as time goes on. even at 15 years in prison, I think that puts her release date, even if she got out parole at 83 years old. If she gets 25 years old, or 25 years, she's out at 93 years. I don't think she's going to live that long. I asked for mercy and for a sentence that could potentially get her a life of parole sometime late in life. I don't know if that's even possible, quite frankly. I will say this to all these victims out there, because there's a lot of victims here. Obviously, the family is, and from what I heard today, it was devastating, truly devastating. And for the letters that I read from the people that didn't speak today, also devastating. I got to say, in this situation, you had everything from grief to heroism. I mean, just a range of emotions and things like that. I want to say that I read each one of those letters to my client, each one of them, because I wanted her to hear those. And it was an extremely emotional situation with her. At the end of the day, what does life look like? I think that what her goal is to try to make things right the best that she can. I don't know what that looks like. You go to prison and try to help others. I mean, there may be some opportunities there for her, but in essence, any sentence, even a guideline sentence, is a life sentence for her. It truly is. I did address some legal issues as well in the sentencing memorandum. In there, you'll see that I've asked for a concurrent sentence as opposed to consecutive sentences. I know that the people's position is that both count 1 and 2 should be consecutive to each other, and then counts 3 and 4 should be consecutive as well. Even if they were to be run concurrent, that sentence would certainly be of such a nature where I think that the principles of sentencing that I discussed in my brief would be met. Rehabilitation of Ms. Chidester, this is her first offense. I do think that there is a very good chance that even if she were to be released at some point, nothing like this would ever happen again. Protection of society, even when she is released, whatever her sentence may be, she'll be so elderly that my guess is that she'll be released to a hospital to die. I think that's what's going to ultimately happen. Punishment, obviously the guidelines have give Your Honor a wide range of options here as far as sentencing goes, and I respect that and understand that. And finally, deterrence. I think that when you have a case where, back when I first started, a lot of these cases would be operating while intoxicated, causing death. They really would. And you would go to trials, or you would go to pleas, and the sentencing options were not as large as they are for a murder to conviction. But I'll tell you what, if anybody can get anything from this case for society, for deterrence, it's that if you choose to do this and make these poor decisions, that you could, spend the rest of your life in prison for murdering somebody. Thank you very much, Your Honor, for your time. My client would like to just say a few words.
Of course.
Right. I've been thinking about what I was going to say to you for over a year. It was a terrible, terrible tragedy. I can't help it. Say I'm still very, very sorry for the loss of your children. I pray for them every day. And I would ask that their Father would also forgive me, as well as the people that were injured. I never meant to harm those children. None was involved in the accident. And the only thing that I can say is, I'm so very sorry. And I never, ever meant to come across as not being sorrowful. I've asked the Lord to forgive me. And I ask that you at least look into your heart, and at some point, if you can possibly forgive me, I would appreciate that so much. I have a little verse that I want to read. It says, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercy never ends. And that comes from Lamentations 3:22. And I hope will show you some mercy and help you get over your terrible tragedy, loss of your children. And again, so very sorry. And I pray every day for you and family, as well as I do for the other people that were injured. I pray that they would be able to recover and get back to their normal selves again. I'm sorry. That's really all I can say.
All right, thank you. In this matter, the sentencing guidelines on count 1 and 2, which is the second-degree murder charges, the sentencing guidelines are 225 months to 375 months. On counts 3 and 4, which is operating while intoxicated causing death, the sentencing guidelines are 43 months to 86 months. On counts 5 through 9, operating while intoxicated causing serious injury, the sentencing guidelines are 12 to 24. The defendant has no prior criminal record. This historic courtroom has handled cases for more than 100 years, probably a lot more than that. Many of those cases are tragic and heartbreaking. I've presided over several of those myself. This might be the most tragic and most heartbreaking case that this courtroom has ever seen. 2 small children were killed. 5 others, including 2 other children, were seriously hurt. But more than that, this crime destroyed lives, it destroyed families, and it changed so many people in a very negative way. This has impacted the community in such a way that they're never, ever going to forget what happened on that day. I heard the testimony. I believe the jury got it right. The evidence of this defendant's guilt was overwhelming. The defendant took her prescribed medicine, gabapentin, and had a glass of wine at lunch. That was what was being proposed. She doesn't remember anything else. I didn't believe that. I don't think the jury believed that. Perhaps that's how you get away from the horror of such a thing, is just say, I don't remember what happened. But for me and for the court, the evidence is what we consider. The defendant said she rated herself a 7 on a 1 to 10 scale, with 10 being total blackout drunk. She indicated that she knew it was okay that she didn't drive. Her blood alcohol was 0.18 grams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood. And as I said, she had gabapentin in her system. She has no record. Excuse me. She's educated and she had a fine career. She was in the service. I don't take these matters lightly, and I do take them into account. The defendant's sentencing memorandum had a number of letters supporting the defendant, attesting to her character and their interactions with her. I believe them. I think they were heartfelt. I think they were genuine. Only one, however, mentioned alcohol. When I reviewed the 309 screening, which is an alcohol screening attached to the sentencing, the defendant denies the drinking problem and is not interested in any substance abuse counseling. She's well within her rights to her innocence, and I guess by extension, her sobriety. But I'm just looking at the evidence that came in at trial. At 9 a.m. on the day this crime happened, the defendant was at the Fermi 3 Party store purchasing a 4-pack of wine and a large bottle of wine. 9 a.m. Circumstantial evidence shows that she was drinking at the home that day before heading to the boat club. Hours later, she still had a 0.18 blood alcohol. This wasn't just an accident, it was a crime. It could have been avoided. It's not against the law to drink, but it's against the law to drink and drive. The defendant lived so very close to this boat club, she could have simply walked down there. After getting in the vehicle, backing into the neighbor's car, forcing it through a fence, she then placed her vehicle in drive, speeding off towards the boat club, reaching 44 miles an hour. This is where a person would stop and say, hey, wait a second, I shouldn't be driving. I'm in no shape to drive. But she didn't do that. She made a conscious decision to shift the vehicle from reverse to drive and race to the boat club. This was a wanton and willful disregard of the likelihood that the natural tendency of this would be death or great bodily harm. For all those reasons, I find the following to be a reasonable and proportionate sentence. On counts 5 through 9, which were the operating under the influence causing serious injury, you're to serve 24 months to 60 months. Michigan Department of Corrections, credit 76 days. 340 state costs, $1,595 in restitution to Diane Medina as a condition of parole. On counts 3 and 4, which are the operating under the influencing causing death, you're to serve 84 months to 180 months. Michigan Department of Corrections, credit 76 days, 136 state costs. On counts 1 and 2, which are the second-degree murder charges, you're to serve 25 years to 50 years. Michigan Corrections credit 76 days. All these counts will be concurrent with each other. You have the constitutional right to appeal, Ms. Chester. You also have the right to an attorney. You can't afford an attorney. One would be appointed for you at public expense. You have 42 days from today to request an appellate attorney on the form you're going to be given and ask to initial. Thank you, counsel.
We have discussion.
Security reasons, we are going to ask that you all vacate the courtroom and vacate the third floor. Doesn't mean you can't be in the courthouse, just not in the courtroom and not on the third floor. Thank you so much for your cooperation. All right, we're adjourned.
This camera person. Yeah, no, she's not getting out. I'm frozen. Nope. All right, I'm just going to mute that. I think she'll do the her walk here in just a second. But I do. No, she's not getting out. That's life for her. 67 years old. And he was kind of, the defense is hard to listen to. I completely understand that. I'm not. Sorry, I'm trying to find something. Dang it. It's hard to listen to the defense attorneys do their job. And I think, I don't know if Daddy Short Nuts is still here, but I think he's the one that says, saying my thing. So I say when I sing about this defense attorney. I do?
Yeah, it's kind of choppy.
Well, I don't know why.
It could be
StreamYard.
StreamYard, because I think StreamYard has been having some issues.
Okay, I thought they were going to show her walk out. Okay. Well, it is high. Let me leave. I'll be right back.
Okay. Whoa, what is happening? This camera dude. Ah, no. It's just me. Help me. Oh boy. Okay, good. I was like, whoa, that's really big, Gabby. I don't know if anybody wants that because I didn't.
Is that better? Do I sound
Yeah,
good?
I think it was like the actual like maybe website or something. I don't know. Yeah,
All right. Well, they are showing her walk out. I don't know why there was an earthquake.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to add it. Oh, there it is. Gosh dang it. Everything's slow.
Yep.
Yeah, we needed to see her feet.
Yeah, camera guy, get it together. Does she have shackles on too?
She doesn't need to. She walks that way, remember? Okay, that's
Oh,
enough.
right,
Holy
yeah.
crap.
Yeah, that guy.
Maybe
That
somebody
camera guy.
don't let the cameraman drive home.
No, right?
So I started a bunch of comments and I can't find any of them. Because,
Oh, it says starred one.
right? Where? She got 25 to 50 years. So basically life. She's 67 years old. And
Yeah.
she had some other things, but that was the main one. I gotta get that off. Start being nuts. Also, Bright, I can't find, because Bry had a member's
Oh,
10 months, I think, thing that he put up.
yeah.
So thank you, Bry. I didn't want to stop in the middle of her statement for that. So I just didn't feel like I wanted to say
Here
thank
it
you,
is.
but I didn't feel like it was appropriate. Thank you, because I can't see any of that. So, Bry, Ronnie, and Puddletown. I started that, and I think
And
I
then
thought
here's Ronnie's.
yes, thank you, Ronnie. She said she kept forgetting to renew. She had to walk over to her computer. And then Puddletown, thank you
Puddletown.
for being a member for 7 months. And Gabby, you put one up too.
Yeah.
15 months. Yes, Tampon Gate, good grief. If you weren't
Good times.
around, if you weren't around, we watched this trial in Judge Wolf's court in Tennessee. I haven't watched Judge Wolf's court in a long time, and he kind of clamped down on showing some of the things that he was showing. It was really weird, and I feel weird when you were the first male mod. So I feel weird talking about it because I don't want people to think that, like, it's kind of one of those cases where you feel like you got to believe all women, but there was just not enough there to believe this woman. She accused her husband's best friend of coming over and assaulting her in the middle of the night while her husband and their child were having a camp out in their backyard. Except for, there was a lot of things that she said that it just kind of didn't add up. One of them being that she had a feminine hygiene product in her because she had just recently had a miscarriage, and which did not make sense to me because there is no doctor that would say, please, you stick something up there. Sorry, I'm trying to be nice and not. Anyway, it was never found. Okay.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Where is the tampon?" And I was like, "It's Tampon Gate."
Yeah, it was never found, and it became a topic in that trial because she said her husband's friend pulled it out. He's like, I didn't do anything. And they searched her medically. They searched the room. It was just a weird. Oh, Bri. Yeah, Shane, you do not do that if you have just miscarried. You just don't. Like, the doctor would tell you, don't do anything. Like, don't stick anything up there. So, it was along with that and and there was a lot of other stuff that she said that just didn't add up. And
Yeah.
you know, you're trying to walk a fine line of like, I don't believe you, lady, and not get in trouble with the ladies. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I didn't believe her.
so it ended. It was hung jury, right? Because they were,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the math just wasn't mathing. There was
yeah,
nothing about that made any sense.
it wasn't. I mean, he was cooperative. And it came out that she had caught him having he did his wife catch her having an affair and then told her husband, and then
Yeah.
she was mad. So it was like she was gonna get revenge. It's what it really, really felt like, is that I'm getting revenge.
Yeah.
And so it ended in a hung jury, and I kept kind of watching for a little while. It wouldn't surprise me if they just didn't bring it back, if they didn't try him again, because you're not getting any new evidence, and you got this
No.
stack of evidence over here that doesn't look good for her. Things that there was just so much. I don't even remember everything, but just the more, because she testified and her husband testified, and the more that she spoke and the more questions that she was asked, I was just going, no, this lady is lying. And it just didn't make sense. But anyway, so it became Tampon Gate because we couldn't find it. So they never found it that we know of. I would say if they did find it, they may have tried him again. But that whole stream at the end of that went completely off the rails. And it was hilarious because we weren't really even, yes, the chat was hilarious. We weren't talking about even really the trial anymore at that point. It was, it was done and over. We were just chatting, having fun. And that was, that was it. So I didn't want you to think we were laughing at the trial. We were not. But I don't know. So that's Tampon Gate. Shani, you will not have a more messed up sense of humor than Carmen. I guarantee it. You guys might be equal, because I think you guys have both been through a lot in your life and witnessed a lot of bad things in your lives, but you will not have a more messed up sense of humor than her. I promise. And if you do, congratulations. Because she's in a profession that you get a dark sense of humor. Just kind of like Bri, and Bree, and people that work in certain professions. You just get a dark sense of humor about you. Some people just have a dark sense of humor. You don't have to work in a weird profession at all. But
very true.
It makes a funny popping sound when you pull the string. Well, Puddletown, I don't know. I'm not asking. Not asking. All right. Little one, you said so about Lori. Talking about Lori Vallow. I don't know if you guys saw, there's a clip of her. She was having a hearing with the judge, Judge Zach, lookalike Judge Zach, or Zach's twin brother, saying dumb stuff about that her name being on the jury questionnaire, that they had to fill out. She's like, they could just Google me and find out who I am. And the judge goes, we have to ask the question so that we can, if they know who you are, they can get out. And that's what happened in your first trial. We said, are you familiar with her? When people raised their hands, they were excused. they have to know who they're like. That's just the way it works. It's the way it's always worked. Like, shut up, basically, was what he was saying. I mean, it was just, she's just so dumb. And I don't know when her next trial is. I know it's coming up. So, Peloton, I probably will punish myself and do that one again because
Oh.
I kind of feel like I got to finish it up now.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like, this will be the last one.
I
The
might
first
be out
one-
of the country. So
You won't either. You'll be back.
I might not be here for that one.
Are you for real? Yeah,
I might. Let me know when you're gonna stream that. And I'll
I will
make sure
not.
I go on vacation that day.
I will not. 19 minutes. What's in 19
For
minutes?
what? Yeah, what is in 19 minutes?
June 2nd. Okay, thanks, Ronnie. I thought it was June 2nd. I generally have that stuff written down, and I'd make.
I mean, what state is she getting sentenced in now or trial in now?
Arizona, same judge,
Oh.
same attorneys, her included.
So basically the same thing we just watched.
It's her ex nephew-in-law. So she is accused of trying to unalive him, and by using her, I think her brother is accused. Well, he's passed away. Alex is accused
Right.
of shooting at him, and obviously missed. So it's
about something completely different.
yeah, it's kind of like completely different but the same, because I'm telling you, she is Medusa.
She's something, that's for sure.
You get in her shadow and you look at her in the face and you're probably taking a dirt nap. I'm not past 2 hours. I'm just past 1 hour at Pedaltown. I still have to be good. And no belt or shackles. She want to have lunch with her with her advisors and no belt or shackles. Is that what you're saying, little one? Yeah, no. I just want just one.
Right. Just a one quick 8 seconds.
Just yes. We'll have to play that again.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. She doesn't want to explain who else her people have and thinks that it's wrong to read. Well, here's the thing about Lori. She doesn't get to make any decisions anymore. And the judge, I thought about the judge's comment that he made when she was found guilty the last trial that we just watched. And she was going to do sentencing. And I'm so thankful they did not do sentencing that day. And he said to her, we can just do it after your second trial. So he already knows how that one's more than likely going to go down.
Yeah.
And she's just too out there and thinking she's Nephi to see it.
So like she's already serving what, like 40 life sentences by now?
She's got at least 2.
Yeah, that's basically 40. So what's the point?
Yeah, and then I'm sure this one is probably close to life, if not life, whatever she'll get sentenced for Charles Vallow, because she didn't technically unalive him, but she certainly had, I believe 100% she had a hand in it.
Good luck, Carmen.
You're gonna fly to Arizona, walk into the courtroom and say, excuse me, but I have to give the people what they really want. Just when you do that, Carmen, turn around and say, hi, Mom, and you're welcome. Oh, it'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Oh, my gosh. It'd be hilarious. Watch myself testify in Carmen's trial as an expert witness on snark. You probably would get it. He could be an expert. Hey, little one, don't worry about it. You're not the only one here with that.
Yep.
So
I have that too.
don't worry a thing about it.
And then plug your channel.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then oh, and see if the judge wants to come on. We'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Plug the
We'll
hole.
have
plug the
you could have him and Zach on at the same time. That'd be so hilarious.
and be like, who's who?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
be like, oh my, like, who's that? That serial liver, and I think he's in California. Ed Kemper.
Oh
Do
yeah.
Kemper on Kemper.
Yeah.
To Zach on Zach. Which one
Just
is the real one?
Zach is Ed Kemper.
We'll just play like our version of To Tell the Truth. But just have those two. Who's the real
yeah.
Zach? The judge would be like, I didn't know I had a long lost brother. Zach on Zach crime.
Uh,
No, where's Zach? Zach.
probably
Oh,
fishing.
Do you think anyone can visit Lori in prison? Probably. I don't know who anyone would want to, except for
Well, I mean, all the people, most of the people she knows, she unalived. So who would go visit her?
well, according to her brother's ex-wife, her parents really kind of had a weird relationship with her. And when her brother Adam testified, when he said, hey, I think Lori has some problems, they cut him off. And
Wow.
he's basically been like kicked out of the family. So
Well, I bet she gets visitors from Ned all the time, or Ted.
Ned.
Ned.
I'm just gonna flash my bag and say, you know what time it is. The Fed say zap zap zap.
Oh god. I know what's coming after that.
We could do a field trip.
Field trip.
Will there be sack lunches? Is there any other way to go? And don't forget to put your pop in the freezer, but don't freeze it too long and then wrap it in aluminum foil so it's still cold by the time you eat lunch. Do you ever have to do that, Gabby?
What?
When you went on a field trip in elementary school? Because we didn't have the icy pack.
I've never-
then.
I've only been on one field trip in my entire life throughout school, and it was in high school, and it was to a bank.
You took a field trip to a bank?
Yep.
Did you rob it?
Nope.
I'm beginning to think you have something with banks. Every morning,
Yeah.
go to the bank. I talk to you and you'd be like, I'm just sitting in the parking lot of the bank for 45 minutes talking to you. I'm like, you better leave.
People look at me and I just like give them the side eye, and then they walk away. Like, mind your business.
Oh my. Soda. Sorry. I say both generally. I try to know my audience.
Yeah, I've never been on a field trip, like to the zoo or anything like that. No.
Wow. Room to,
I mean, I've been to the zoo, but
I hated field trip. The cheese on my bologna sandwich would get warm at ew. Yeah, juice boxes. They were no good. Because they were warmed. They would get warmed.
yeah, I wasn't allowed to have juice boxes.
Must be to you. Ha ha ha. Remember when I yelled something on the phone when I knew you were in a bank? Good times.
Oh yeah, that was funny. It was actually really funny. Because they all looked at me and I was like, my bad. It's like volume down.
She's just a little. She's funny.
Well, because I go into the bank and I'm wearing like all black with my black hoodie and I have my hood up and I'm like talking to Carmen and she's like, she yelled something and I was like, everyone heard it because the bank is quiet. And then some random person walks up to me who works there and is like, oh, hi, how can I help you? I was like, no, I'm all set.
Oh, that's hilarious. We should take a field trip. Oh my gosh. Well, that was horrible to listen to. I hadn't listened to that. So I had listened to the dad, but I had not listened to the moms. Sorry, but I just had to kind of bring it back around. We went on lots of field trips. So in 8th grade here, we went to Chicago. That was like the 8th grade field trip at the end of the year. And we went to the Museum of Science and Natural History or something like that. That was the weirdest place I've ever been. Like they have cadavers there that are like sliced so you can see. I remember that out of everything. They had goggles that you could put on so you would know what it was like to drive drunk. I don't know. But the bus ride there and back sucked.
Well, we should all meet up and have a field trip to a trial.
Yeah, I don't know where. You like the field trips when you got to ride back with me? Yeah. They're like, are you going to drive? Sure. I'll drive. They couldn't ride there with me, but they could ride back with me, which was fine because then we didn't have to stay behind the bus.
Oh, you went on field trips with Carmen?
With Carmen and Brandon, I did.
Oh.
Yep. But I don't think when they were in 3rd grade, they went to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That was like the only field trip that all the dads wanted to go on. So, like, if you had never seen if anybody had a dad, then you met them that day because all the dads signed up for that trip.
Indy 500.
Indy 500. And then I didn't live here yet, but I think when they were like in 5th grade, my husband said they took a field trip. I don't know if it was over like a weekend to this camping area that isn't that far from here. And I'm like, dang, you went overnight. And those are the field trips I did not do because they would go to the state park it's like 5 minutes from my house. And I would go for the day. I'm like, I'm going to go home and go to bed. I'll be back. But you're right here. Like, I can get here real quick if I need to. No way.
Where is CrimeCon? Is it in a different place every year? I feel like it is.
I think it's in. Is it in Arizona this year?
Of course it is.
No, Brian, I don't want to go there. Carmen might.
I've seen it.
I went to Denver.
I have many friends that work there, probably.
September 5th through the 7th. Dang.
CrimeCon?
Denver. Yeah.
Oh, it's in Denver? Wait, what's in Denver? Anything else?
Denver used to be a pretty cool place. I don't have any idea what it's like anymore.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Ronnie. It's in a different place each year. Well, I wonder if maybe one year they'll come to Massachusetts.
Free beer if you like beer.
Free beer if you like beer.
Well, depends on what kind of beer. It's an IPA. That's IP awful. No thanks.
It's
Sorry.
a Bexar.
A Bexar. That's where it needs to be in Bear County, Texas. Have Judge Boyd be there and host it. And be like, Bexar. She's like, it's Bear. We know. But we like Bexar better. All right. I think that's all I have. I don't think
on Puddletown's comment alone. I mean, I think that's
Puddletown.
I think that's that's Scene right there, and Finn.
Wow, Pedaltown.
And on that note,
Yeah, little one. There's some bad storms up there. I think they're coming my way tomorrow. Like, yay. We were talking about it today when I was getting my hair done. And my hairdresser was like, I never wanted a basement, but now I wish I had a basement. And the other woman was like, yeah, I wish I had a basement. And I'm like, I do have a basement, but my dogs won't go down in the basement. So I'm not going down there either. Because I'm not leaving my dogs. And people are like, you need to just leave your dogs. No. I'm not going to leave my dogs where they're going to be scared. So, sorry. If I get to the afterlife and they're like, idiot, then I'll be like, yeah, you don't leave your dogs. It's my rule. Yeah, ours is tomorrow afternoon. We're like in red rum. From freaking The Shining. Yeah, Laura's getting on, I think, tonight. They probably wouldn't get into that either, Bri, or I would.
Red Rum.
Red rum.
Red Rum.
I think I saw that movie in Denver in the theaters. It scared the crap out of me. I was only 10, but I was with my family, and they probably were all old enough to go see it. And then, so.
I don't know. There's always a creepy little kid on a creepy little bike.
His little big wheel
in all
riding
horror
around.
movies.
And
Yeah.
then you got those little freaking sisters. My husband and I, we always quote Grady when he's in the bathroom with Jack Nicholson, Jack.
Yeah.
And he's telling him, well, what'd you do? And Grady's like, I corrected them. And then he says, and then my wife tried to intervene. He's like, what'd you do? He's like, I corrected her too. So we'll say something. And he'll say something. I'm like, did you correct her? Like, or I'll say, I corrected her too. Or I should have corrected her too. Just, I don't know. We're just stupid like that. But
Yeah, they're coming.
she's my ex-mother-in-law because my father-in-law died, and then she just kind of exited our life because she was my husband's stepmom. But she was so mad at me that I showed kids The Shining when they were younger. I'm like, I saw this when I was 10. Like, they loved it. It's fine.
Mel Gibson and the Alien.
That movie? Mel Gibson and the Alien. Oh, Signs?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I haven't seen it either. Several show tumors that are often missed. Oh, Carmen, don't be telling stories like that. There's a reason we don't talk. But
Oh, man.
all right, I'm going to go.
All right.
And I think it's Signs, little one. I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
I've never
that's
seen
the
it.
only one I can think about with alien in it. Or that I think are aliens.
I can only think of what's that other one he was in? Where he inducts prima nocta.
What?
Exactly. I don't even know how to say it. Oh, Braveheart. Was it Braveheart he was in?
I have not seen Braveheart, but yes, he was in that.
It's a bad word, I think, in that movie. My bad.
Or yeah, little one. Thing. I'm pretty sure it's Signs. Because all the little parts I've seen of it, you're describing
it. A baseball player. A kid was a baseball player. Huh. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what the name of the movie. Google Signs. Sighns. Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver?
Sigourney Weaver was in Aliens.
Yeah, that's what Shinny said. Unless you're talking about the actress in Aliens. All I can think
Oh.
about is Finding Nemo, or it's like Finding when they I can't remember which one it was. Either the first one or the second one where they get to the what's that place? I lost the word. Anyway, they pop out of the water and all of a sudden you hear Sigourney Weaver's voice. And it's like, "Hi, I'm Sigourney Weaver. Welcome to."
It's
I'm sorry?
cartoon.
Yeah, it's a cartoon. It's a Disney movie, but it's actually Sigourney Weaver's voice. Like, it's funny.
That that seems familiar to me.
It's
But I
a
can't-
Finding Nemo. It's the aquarium,
The
Ronnie.
aquarium.
They end up getting it's finding like Dory's family or something. Finding
Oh, I've not
It's
seen
funny.
all of Finding Nemo because I just haven't. I've tried. I'm sorry.
Get on that,
I
AJ.
tried.
Joaquin Phoenix playing Johnny Cash. Yeah, that was a pretty good movie.
That was a good movie. Walk the Line. I've also
Yeah.
not seen all of the Lion King.
Like the original?
Nope.
Oh.
Because every Disney movie starts off with the parents or generally there's either one parent or both parents. They get the X. So
Yeah.
always, everyone. Like, could you not come up with a new plot? And they said no.
Yeah.
I've
That's
not seen
Mr.
Frozen.
Gabby's favorite.
Yeah, I just I don't
Frozen
know.
wasn't bad. I liked Olaf. He was like my favorite character.
When I worked in the pharmacy, we were kind of bored one night, and the pharmacist and the lead tech started singing something about drugs and Frozen. You know, do you want to build a snowman theme?
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, would you like to try some cocaine?" And they just looked at me. They were like, "That was nice, unexpected, but nice." I'm like, "Yep, that's what happens when you get to know me." I'm quiet till I'm not. Now I'll go back to being quiet.
Like, okay, bye.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Hey, Carmen, by the way, let me know what's going on for next Wednesday.
Yeah, do you have to work? Saturday was Hee Haw Wrestling. That's right. And the Muppets. Don't forget the Muppet Show.
Yeah, that was a good show. And I return its offering.
Hey, you bailed on the sad.
Hey, Baker, I wasn't the one who even mentioned cocaine. AJ did that by herself. I don't even know a Colombian. She's the one who has secret Colombian meetings.
Do I? Or
Yeah.
do I?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
She allegedly knows a Colombian.
Or two. I might. I'll never tell. You have to work next Wednesday?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so then I'll be back Monday and Tuesday and Thursday, unless something happens. Carmen does have some hookups at work. But who says I need them?
Oh boy.
I
I
do
mean,
it.
Baker, I think, AJ's more street than you think she is. She
That's
did grow up in a cornfield. Just saying.
or at least around some.
Yeah. She
I'm
knows
just-
what's up.
It might be soybeans this year. I don't know yet. They're just now planting them. I'll be able to tell you next month.
Soybeans, it's just a front.
Soybeans are better because I can see over them all summer, and the farmer he's just kind of a No, I'm not here an hour yet. He
Next
is.
week we're gonna finish the trial we're not finished with. That's what we're gonna finish. Corn wasn't the only thing she husked. Yeah. Well, I could tell you stories, but you know.
She told you she'd have to unalive you.
Yeah, if I told you, that's it. I'd have to call my uncle who knows a guy who knows a guy. I mean,
I can't do that, Shinny, on the where they have the. I'll look and see if I can
sound normal.
Find it. They would sound normal. If I can find it to where I can, I will. But so far, I've not been able to. Baker, you have no idea the stories my kids tell me.
Little one, I just said the trial we're not finished with. The Betty Broderick one.
Yes, Kim is back on the stand. I was looking. I wasn't listening, but I had it playing today because I was adjusting stuff. And boy, does she look? She looks. She's ready to go. She looks annoyed, and I think it's still cross. And she just doesn't look happy. Judge talks to her. I don't know. Who skied in San Diego? She may know a guy, but we don't let him go.
I mean, at this point, we're just here for the mannequins.
Yes, we got to see what the mannequins are doing. Surely they moved. Unless something pops up, little one. We're gonna when I start something, I finish it. So we've got Lori Vallow coming up, but yep, I don't typically, even if I abandon it mid-trial, I will come right back to it because I'm going to finish it. But, so that's the plan for Monday. We'll be back to the 80s hair, back to the shoulders pads, back to the mannequins in love, or maybe not in love, benders. If Carmen is available and can stream next Wednesday, her and Gabby may take over, and I promise nothing.
I promise nothing either.
Baker, you can come on. You can come on, Gabby and Carmen.
I don't know if that's a good idea. I mean,
I'm not gonna cover freak offs because that's some bad stuff.
Baker likes to play like, you know, don't swear, blah, blah, blah. But I think he would be like in with us. He'd be like causing trouble just with us, you know?
I've heard several, I've heard words during this Karen Reed trial.
Oh, I've heard quite a few words as well. Yeah.
I've heard those words coming out of Baker's mouth. I'm like, came here to learn how to be a good, clean streamer.
Good, clean Christian. But, you know, I popped in there the other day and he was just going off and I was like, okay.
There were some F-bombs.
Oh, yeah.
Baker has amazing rants. He does. But I don't have a swear jar. Maybe I should get one.
Yeah, but what do we get for the swear jar when it gets full? What should we get? Pizza party?
Pizza party. Wow, you should have stayed. You would have been able to hear the defendant speak. I tried
better behave.
Yeah, I tried to look at her because I have my other monitors bigger so I can see things better on it. And I could not see a tear. I really wanted to see a tear. And I didn't see one.
No.
I saw, like, I agreed with this attorney, and I agreed with him when he said attorneys aren't supposed to talk about other attorneys. I do agree with a lot of what he said. See you, Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie.
That other attorney did kind of parade her out there, and it didn't look good. Like that interview we watched didn't look good. He was not a good attorney. So maybe that's why he thinks she'll get an appeal for ineffectiveness of counsel. But I don't know that I don't even know that will be enough. Because it's not like you can't get over the BAC. You can't get over the videos.
Yeah.
There's just,
There's nothing there. Like, it's just, it is what it is. She did it. It's all caught on tape. It's a horrific act. There's nothing that she can, I mean, of course, it's her right to appeal it, but doesn't mean that they're going to grant it.
no. And then when he was saying, well, she'll be 83 when she gets out. Like, she'll just go to hospital and die. I'm like, my dad just turned 84 yesterday, and I can tell you, he's not going to a hospital to die.
Yeah.
You know, he went to the Y to work out today. Like, he's living. He's healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like that doesn't, she's not as healthy, but I'm like, sorry. I'm sorry that you don't have, that this is your first offense. I'm sorry that it was that bad. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry you had a bad attorney. You know?
Hey, wow. Good for her, K-Wow.
No kidding. Yeah, my dad walks really fast. That's funny. He's funny. All right, I think that's it.
Okay, yeah.
All right. I think I'm really, really, really gonna go.
Yeah, Carmen, just let me know. As soon as you possibly can, just let me know about Wednesday. It doesn't have to be during the day. It could be at night. Just let me know as soon as possible so I can let Mr. Gabby know.
And let me know. So I know what you guys are doing, if I need to get anything together for you, or if you're just gonna roll on your own.
Sounds fabulous.
I just need to,
send me a link, Gabby.
What you dare. That's on you guys. Puddle Town.
No one needs to see anybody's nips, all right, Puddle Town?
Yeah, behave. All right, you guys have a good weekend. Watch out for the storms. Stay safe if that's what you're getting. If you're gonna go to Canton, be careful.
No, I drive around it.
Good. Have a good weekend. Don't go to jail. I don't have a swear jar full of bail money, so I won't.
Hi, Laura.
So there. Now you know everything.
Oh my god, that was like perfect timing. Oh god. Help me. Please help me. I need
okay. Shannon, you can have fun. Just call an Uber. I'm ending. I'm going away.
everyone.
That's it. That's it. Goodbye. Thank you all. Have a great night. I'll talk to you later.